In our CN8 Extra tonight, picture this. It's been said that for the past 40 years or so, there's been no major civil event, social event, or historic event in the Philadelphia region that Jack Franklin wasn't there to witness. And not only was he there, but he probably has the photographs to prove it. Photographs that have been seen all over the world. Jack Franklin's story is a unique combination of great talent, sheer determination, true grit, and just a little bit of luck. All earned on the front line.
These stories are known to us today visually because of the work of Jack T. Franklin.
Praise and applause have come late for Jack Franklin.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
At nearly 80 years of age, he spent a lifetime putting others in the spotlight, documenting history and capturing precious moments in time on 35 millimeter. Jack Franklin is a photographer. And this starry-eyed group staring on in admiration is viewing part of the Jack Franklin photo collection now on display at the African American Museum in Philadelphia.
I got over 850,000 negatives and pictures that I'd taken myself personally.
850,000 photos. But where did it all begin? Well, he was born Jack Theodore Franklin in North Philadelphia during the Depression in 1922. That's him on the left as a boy. His parents were Florence and Frank Vincent Franklin, both educators from the South who moved north to raise their family.
My father was a professor in Georgia, principal of the school, and my mother was one of the teachers.
Franklin says his childhood was pretty basic, for the most part. That is until he fell in love with a camera at just 10 years of age, and a whole new world, you could say quite literally, became in focus right before his eyes. Do you ever stop and think what you were doing would be so important all these years later?
No, I didn't. Well, I knew it was news. As far as I'm concerned, I was a portrait photographer, a news photographer, and a journalist. I don't know how famous it'd get, but I knew that it was needed.
It was needed when a young Jack Franklin was drafted into World War II. He served in the Army and the Air Force, armed not with a gun, but with his camera. PFC J.T. Franklin took these pictures 60 years ago while on tour of duty in the mid-Pacific. He says it was important to document that the Negro soldier fought and bled for this country too.
So this is for real. I mean, he being patched up because he got clobbered.
Franklin returned from the war abroad to the bustling social scene at home. America was in a mood to celebrate, and Philadelphia was hot.
If there's an entertainer and they come to Philadelphia, I got them on film somewhere.
Sam Cooke, Josephine Baker, Harry Belafonte, James Brown, and more. Jack Franklin got them all. And the legendary Nat King Cole. Cole took such a liking to Franklin that he used him as his personal photographer.
This particular picture made the cover of Philadelphia Independent.
But all the song and dance wasn't from joy. There was oppression in the air, civil unrest in the streets, and champions at the forefront for change. Champions like the late great Philadelphia NAACP leader Cecil B. Moore. Champions like a young Martin Luther King Jr. who held this Philadelphia audience spellbound. And there in the shadows was Jack Franklin, capturing it all in perfect focus.
Spectators, you got them by the millions up there. But the recorders of the history, that is very important, especially our history.
Jack Franklin was already well into the news business when he took an assignment to cover an event down in the racist South on a hot day in March of 1965. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was staging a march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, to protest Alabama's Jim Crow laws. This is Jack Franklin's photograph. It was taken from the front line. But the front line often came with a price. The marchers were beaten back by police, tear gassed, turned around. This event would be recorded in history's shame as Bloody Sunday. Were you scared?
I guess I was nervous a little bit. My legs got shaky sometimes, but
you kept shooting?
Yeah, I did what I knew to do best, to shoot pictures.
Of course, the Selma to Montgomery March was manifest. The movement nor the marchers would be deterred. and neither would Jack Franklin. It seems that the best photographers always seem to be in the right position at the right time to get the best shot. How did you do that?
Sixth sense, I guess. You want to see, it was already in me. It was just a matter of me walking around with the camera and projecting it. The camera is just a helper. The photography is coming out of my eyes. And what I see, that's what I get.
And what Jack Franklin has been able to get is 7 decades filled with priceless work. 7 decades of witnessing and recording history. 7 decades of living life with this camera on the front line. Great guy, almost 80 years old. Jack Franklin, of course, is retired now. He has passed on his camera gear and his talent to his daughter, who is also an acclaimed photographer. But again, a portion of his work is on display at the African American Museum in Philadelphia. And if you have a chance to go see it, don't be surprised if you see him there as well. He'll be the guy with the trademark tam on, holding court, telling the story.